Good afternoon and welcome to Backstage. I'm Lee Zimmerman and I'm here with my partner Billy Hubbard. And today we're going to have a conversation with the oldest grandson of the great Johnny Cash, none other than Thomas Gabriel himself. So sit back, relax, and join us backstage. So how's it going? How have you been?
I've been great.
Yeah?
I've been doing great. Yeah.
Yeah, even with all the craziness going on,
We've been out in the country and actually we haven't seen much craziness except for on TV, and we try not to watch that much.
Don't watch TV.
Yeah.
Do not turn on the TV.
Yeah, it's we try to avoid that at all costs.
Great. Well, you as a musician, singer-songwriter, you have a big responsibility, and that is to make music that takes our minds off all the turmoil that's going on in the world.
I was just explaining that the other day.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was. I had somebody try to get me to comment on my position on what was going on.
Right.
And that was funny for me because I explained in a nice way that I thought that was kind of a pompous thing to do, is to put my opinions for everybody else when I'm an entertainer.
Right.
And my whole purpose here is to get your minds off of that. So why would I? It's kind of a catch-22, it seems like.
I like the way you think, because some entertainers, some musicians go out there and they pontificate.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you don't do that then.
No.
That's great. Now, being the grandson of Johnny Cash, that must put a lot of pressure on you, to say the least.
Yes and no. You can look at it lots of different ways. It can put pressure on me musically. It can put pressure on me because he was so political, and he was, very. I don't know what's the right way to say it. He preached as well. Mm-hmm. He was an ordained minister. He was very politically active, and I'm not. I keep to myself as far as my beliefs and my politics, which I don't really have a whole lot of politics. I'm a convicted felon. I mean, what am I? What am I going to be doing?
That's a political party, I think.
Right. It is. It's our own.
Convicted felons
right,
are running somebody for president this year.
Exactly. We should have our own party, the convict party. Yeah. Actually, we're probably about to. Never mind. I'm sorry I said that.
Hey, you made me think of something. A friend of mine that I meant to ask you this earlier is his name's John Cole. He's a young musician. I think he's still in Nashville, but he's in Atlanta now. But his dad baptized Johnny. Do you know?
Oh,
John?
really?
You know John
Really?
Cole, and he used to share a video with me that but it's anyway. I don't know his dad's name, but his last name's Cole. So. That was pretty cool.
I do
that
good to
video.
remember my own name most of the time. Much less. I'm like I was explaining earlier. I'm really good with faces, but I remember your face forever. But I'll forget your name this time.
That might be a bad memory for me and Lee. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I call everybody Buddy.
Right.
And you can't lose by just calling people Buddy.
Right.
I named my dog Buddy because
Right.
I kept
That
forgetting
way you can't
his
forget
name.
it.
I kept forgetting his name.
Right.
So yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So what I was referring to is when people hear that you're related to the great Johnny Cash,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of puts you on a pedestal, because inevitably people may want to compare you, unfairly to Johnny Cash. And so there's a level of expectation and anticipation.
There is.
I mean, how do you deal with that?
There is. And I've been guilty of doing it myself with other artists. You got the Hanks, you got, but the thing is, one of my favorite stories that pertains to that is I had probably one of the largest men I've ever seen in my life. This guy was at least 7 feet tall. And if he wasn't, then he had some really tall boots on. But he came into one of my early shows, and he sat dead center about, 4 or 5 rows back. And the guy just glared at me the whole time. Glared.
Wow.
Just like staring a hole right through me. Wow. And it was a look of hate, too.
Oh,
wow. And so the whole show, like he's I can't help but to notice this guy because he's a mountain of a man, right there in the middle of of everything. I mean, people around him probably had to move just to see around him, but behind him. But I, the whole time I'm thinking, man, this guy's hating me. And he came up, and so I got to, I remember playing, I did Hurt. I do my grandfather's Hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I do kind of my own version of Hurt. And he, right in the middle of it, I happened to look at him, and he put his head in his hands. Went straight down to his hands, and I thought, well, something's wrong with this guy. Maybe he's getting sick or something, huh? And he came back up, and he had tears in his eyes.
Oh, no.
And you could see it because, you can see that from up there. You can't see much, but it was that glisten. He had wet eyes. And afterwards, he came up to me and shook my hand. And he said, I came here to hate you. I said, well, I could tell,
Wow.
He said, and after listening to you, he said, I can't. He said, I figured you were riding on your grandpa's coattails and trying to be Johnny, trying to make a dime off him. He said, you're nothing like him and you don't try to be. And that made me feel really great. That was a really good feeling. Wow. And I've had that similar situation a couple times, really.
Wow.
I always wonder how tough it must be to, with Hank Williams Jr.'s and in your case, how hard that would be because everybody, you have to be your own person. I couldn't be my I can't imagine trying to, the pressure of that too.
Yeah. Well, in the very beginning, it was like I was trying to just do my own music. And I noticed that people were coming to the show and like when at certain times they would shut their eyes and they were listening to similarities, I guess.
Right.
And then, because I did do a couple of his songs. I've always done a couple of his songs.
Sure.
So now I do kind of a 60-40, 60 mine, 40 his, because I realize that half the crowd at least want to hear Johnny. And apparently sometimes I do have some similar tones, I guess.
Well, you definitely do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually hair raising a bit when I first heard you. I think a lot of people probably feel that way.
Well, thank you.
I mean, it's great. It's a good thing to inherit, man.
Well, I mean, I don't see it as a negative because I miss him too. So if there's people out there that want to hear him and they can somehow hear him through me, that's nothing but an honor.
Right.
That just means they miss him as well.
And a 60-40 mix, that sounds reasonable because people do want to hear you doing not his whole, but some of his songs. And at the same time, like you said, you have to establish your own identity. So it sounds like you've got a pretty good handle on it.
Yeah, it's, I do music for lots of other reasons besides just to entertain. I do it for my own soul as well.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is redemption. A lot of that is forgiveness. A lot of, we had our problems too every once in a while. I was a bad drug addict. He knew it. We had some times when we weren't exactly getting along or he wasn't exactly happy with me. So it's, for me, it's a good feeling to be able to project some of his love and some of what he was about to today,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm curious, how does the songwriting process work for you? Where do you get your inspiration? Do you set aside time to write, or could it just be any time at all that some idea comes to you?
Yeah, usually it doesn't work out too well if I sit down and try to write. I'm ADD to the point of, don't let a car go by or something. I might chase it, that type thing. It's me with going down the road or waking up from a dream, and trying to, put that on paper, in a way that I always try to think of ways that if somebody could relate to, like for instance, "So," it was on my last album. I wrote that in a cell, in a prison cell.
Wow.
And I wrote it without ever thinking anybody would ever hear it. It was just for me, But the thing about it is there's a lot of people out there that have related to that song and have come up to me afterwards and said, I get that song.
Oh yeah, that's got to be the song "Sell," right?
Right.
Oh yeah, and your CD, that was incredible. I was really shocked listening to that, man.
Thank you.
I mean, that was a great song.
I was really happy with it. It was a matter of 6 of those songs there's 11 songs on the album, and I had writers on 6, and out of those 6, most came from prison. So I was kind of worried at first. I was like, well, how is this going to come across? And then I realized that there's more to, I mean, everybody's got their own prison. You know, everybody's got their own hell. Everybody's got their own demons. Everybody's got their own.
That's right.
You know, so it's ridiculous because most people can relate to that type of thing, especially nowadays, you know.
Yeah.
What's the name of the album? How many albums do you have? And I'm sorry.
We've got one, Long Way Home, came out year before last.
Okay.
And we're working on the second one. And because of the way COVID and everything, we've just been releasing singles until before the album.
Right.
So.
Right.
And that title cut was another great one. I put that into my car one day, and then, I'd heard you were at the station, and we heard you live, and then I put that in and was driving the next day, and I thought, holy cow, man, that's some deep. I got to hear the lyrics after. I'm a little slow, but I had to listen to it a few times, and the more I heard it, I mean, it gave me goosebumps after a time or two.
Thank you.
So that was great, man.
You know, Billy is a singer-songwriter as well. A very
he's
capable musician, yeah. So that's very special.
Well, yeah, and I didn't want to, like I say, my bumper music there was
That's your song, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't want to pay anybody, so I just used a little cut out of an instrumental.
It worked.
But I mean, one thing I've learned over the years and other songwriters is if you can write something out of your emotions. I mean, I don't know how it works with you, but I can't imagine if when you wrote "Cell" and some of your others, you're almost, if you have teardrops on your paper or just emotions, whatever, that's some of the best stuff you'll ever put out.
Yeah, I agree.
People feel it because it comes out of your soul,
There's the worst part about it was in prison, I finally got a guitar in there and was doing a lot of writing, and I had notebooks. Yeah. I had notebooks, literally like stacks of notebooks, and was in a motel after I got out, and somebody stole my bag and had all my notebooks in it.
Oh man!
So I remember a lot of them, but there was some in there that I really wish I still had.
Oh man, yeah, that would be. I always wondered, it's something you don't think about in prison. You don't they don't give out guitars very easily, do they?
No. It was basically an act of Congress. I mean, it was.
Wow.
It took months, and then it comes in and had no strings.
Oh,
What'd
you do with that?
Well, then I had to get okay to get strings because people make tattoos out of the strings,
Well, they don't want you to hang yourself. I mean, I don't want to be negative, but that could be a threat there,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Another song on that album that I think it was on that one was that Right Side of the Dirt. Was that one on that
That's
one?
the newest.
That's the new one.
Okay. That's the last release.
Well, I heard that maybe someone shared that with me, but I heard that, and that was a pretty good one, man. That's where we all want to be, of course. Right Side of the Dirt.
Right. Yeah. Well, the way that came about was just that. We were talking about. We were actually at my house, me and Alan Sostrin and Derek Toa, and we were working on the arrangement for another song. And we got to talking about how things used to be and how things are now, and how, just dark and dismal things used to be, and now things are so great,
Well, we're in a period here.
You know what, though? I needed that. I needed this time off.
All right.
I really did. So for me personally, I mean, I
think it's been true for a lot of us, man.
It's been terrible for some.
Yeah.
And I'm not discounting that. It's just, for me, I needed that break.
Right. I think a lot of musicians, I know it's hard right now, but I mean, just the reset has been a good, because you got to reevaluate your priorities and, to kind of get back to really who you are, because you get, in the music world, you get pushed with so many different ways, but it's hard, to be true to yourself. I think that's pretty, I hate it when I hear musicians, that some of them that I know when they were one way and they get pushed, But you seem to be pretty hard. I hate to say hard-headed, but pretty much stubborn.
I am hard-headed.
Which you got to do. No, you got to be that way to be yourself, man.
I from 2018 to 2019, we did so much touring that literally I would think I was home a total of like 3 months.
Wow.
And it just got to where nothing was getting done around the house. I mean, my dogs hardly knew me.
Aww.
I came home and they were barking. They'd bark at me, and I'm like, man, Yeah. But now I've got to spend time with Sarah Jo, and we've gotten to, I mean, I know she's sick of me, but you know,
Well, that's what happens when you're confined, when
know.
you're sequestered.
Right.
My wife, this is weird. My wife says, I think it's time that you and I are socially distant. That hurt.
Right.
That really hurt.
Yeah, so we do we do times where she goes works in the garden and I just go work on anything, anything, just anything, So, but yeah, I needed the break. I mean, we'd go out for 3 months at a time. You just can't do that.
Where were you touring?
All of North America, and well, except for Canada, they won't let me in. But
Is that part of your convicted felon
Right.
party? They don't want them up there. No.
But Ireland and
Nice.
yeah, so we've been around.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's cool. I got to ask you this because I just saw this a few weeks ago, or whenever the South by Southwest, film festival.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that documentary, My Darling Vivian, was just incredible. And I went back.
It's fantastic.
Was going to try to find it, and I was disappointed that it disappeared. But I hope. Do you know if that's going to be available some other format since it was?
I wish I knew more about it. I know my mother would know. My mom always knows.
Folks can search for
the
it.
reason why it was on Netflix for a little while, or not Netflix, but Amazon Prime, was because it was supposed to be part of the film festival, and because of COVID, so they put them on for 10 days on Prime.
Oh yeah,
and that was its way of being available.
I saw you. I'm pretty sure that was you.
I was in it. Yeah, I was in it several times.
Is that a blonde-headed kid? You?
Yeah.
What
I
happened to that blonde hair, man?
I know. What happened to that hair? Period. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. Now
Where's that blonde hair?
Blonde.
Yeah. I lost the blonde hair a long time ago, but I saw little glimpses of myself in there several times. Yeah.
That's what I always imagine. I mean, just as trying to, how well you could remember. I mean, I try to remember when I was a kid, and I only remember the bad things, when, you had a bike wreck or something. I mean, do you remember much about your touring with?
I remember more about my childhood than I do yesterday.
Wow.
I've depleted my short-term memory quite a bit, but
You were on the bus with your grandfather.
I was
right?
on the bus quite a bit. Yeah,
Wow.
I did a lot of miles on the bus.
How old were you?
I found a picture the other day of us in Las Vegas, and it was, I won't say the year because that'll give it away how old I am, but
This is a state secret.
yeah,
Okay,
I think I started going out right around the time I was 4 or 5.
Wow.
And I remember going on stage like every night, like having to not get dirty, and then finally it was just a matter of just get them on stage. It didn't matter if it was dirty or not.
So Johnny would introduce you with some
Right.
pride, say, "This is my grandson here, Thomas."
Right.
Yeah.
Lots of times it'd be me and my uncle John Carter, because we're only 3 years apart.
Okay.
And we go out there and sing, when the circle be unbroken, or when the Saints go marching in, or things like that.
You were 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So you got your start in this world of showbiz early on, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I remember. I mean, when you're small and everything is bigger than it is now,
Mm-hmm.
and even though it was big anyways, but I remember just as a kid just being like the circus, it was just huge. It was lights and all these people. And,
Wow.
I can remember the smells even. I can remember everything like it was yesterday.
And how did you get your education? Were you homeschooled?
Who said I did?
or-
Who said I got into education?
Well, you seem like a very educated fellow here. I assume that.
No, I'm playing. We took a lot of books on the bus.
All right.
Yeah.
Kind of like kids now with the COVID. It's up to
pretty much.
The guardians to get them educated.
Yeah, I got used to missing a lot of school. I think my senior year I missed 75 days. I mean, I don't even know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were always gone. So.
I mean, but could you say to the principal or the teachers, "Hey, I'm Johnny Cash's grandson. I've got an excuse." And if you want a handwritten note, that become a collector's item.
Actually, I started out at a 1st through 8th. I went to a private Christian school.
Okay.
And my grandfather was very active with that school, and so there was a lot of communication between my grandfather and his people, his management with the school.
Right.
So I do remember that.
So, did your grandfather give you advice, tips, help you with your songwriting? I mean, what was the interaction there?
No, he didn't really help with them. He was very supportive.
Right. He knew you were going to be an entertainer,
Well,
inevitably.
that's yeah. There was kind of a twist in that. You know, my grandmother, once again, Grandma Vivian, which was we were just talking about the documentary. Mm-hmm. She was totally against me doing music at all because she saw what happened with my grandfather.
Wow.
And so when I was into doing music, I was in several bands. I was in, mainly metal bands. But when she saw me having that interest, well, it was kind of, my grandfather was like, here, you can use the studio anytime you want as long as nobody else is there, which I took advantage of.
Cash cabin?
Right.
Cool. Yeah.
And so I had come up with I had created this 6-song little EP and brought it to him. And I sent it to my grandmother as well. My grandmother cried and tried to talk me out of it.
Oh, that's right. She wasn't touched by the song. She was touched. He's gonna become a musician. Damn it.
Right.
Yeah,
She was scared because I've had chemical addiction problems since I was young. Young. I was a daily user by 6th grade. So to know that about me, and then to have this start to come about, and so I kind of have an idea that they probably talked. Because he gave me the studio time, and then when I brought it to him, he said, we need to talk. And so we did. And he said, you need to, because I'd already been asked to leave college. I was not exactly, I was.
They asked
they said, please don't come back.
Please don't come back.
So it wasn't like.
They were polite.
I was always the one that got in trouble as when I was younger, but not bad things. But he said, you need to go get. You're too young to do this. I want you to go get a game plan. I want you to get a backup plan, and then come back to it. But do come back to it. So,
were they married at the time?
No.
They had been.
Yeah, they had been divorced for. I came along when I came along. They had been divorced for 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get along well with June?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Yeah. When I came along, I had 2 grandmas.
Okay.
That's the way I saw it.
I got to ask you something. What the tattoo you have? That's a pretty cool tattoo because that was.
I love you all.
Looks like a lyric. Oh, it's not a lyric, but it's.
That's my grandma June's. I'm sorry, my grandma June. We were talking about June. This is my grandma Vivian's handwriting. This is the last sentence she ever wrote.
Oh yeah.
Before she went into surgery,
Wow.
That's cool. So that was something she was telling her family, I guess. Huh?
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wow.
So we've kind of started a campaign as far as I love you all.
That's a great
because the documentary came out and she's finally getting her dues. She worked really hard for that.
Yeah,
it's time somebody gave her.
Let's face it. Not many people are aware of her. They think automatically of June Carter Cash.
Right. I get that all the time.
Yeah.
Well, the other documentary that's out, I haven't seen that one, but it's based on one of your songs, I think, isn't it?
Right, it's going to be The Long Way Home. Yeah.
Is it already out on the?
It's coming out soon. It's not out yet. Should be any time, I think.
Oh yeah.
You're getting a cue.
I'm getting a head nod.
Yeah.
So
I think it's out. Oh yeah, I think I heard it was on Ox.
I'm getting a vague head nod.
Oxyvision.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Is that about you? A documentary
Oxyvision
about
TV.
you, or what is that about?
Actually, it's about the addiction in my family.
Wow.
Which does involve me. I've got a big part in it because my life has been, our whole family is plagued with addiction.
Right.
And even my great grandfather, my grandpa Ray, is old school, as we're talking about. He died in '85, but I remember him saying, the Cashes cannot have alcohol. Well, that's all he was familiar with, really. But he said, we cannot drink. Wow. We cannot have it because we like it too much. He said, it's just a family thing,
Oh, yeah. Hard to
So
find.
I didn't listen to that. I didn't listen to that at all.
None of us do.
When was the last time you saw your grandfather?
Well, he died in 2003.
God,
So I was used to saying 2003.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's been that long, yeah. It's been forever. It's been 15 years.
I used to,
17, yeah.
I was trying. I
I mean,
myself
17 years, yeah. We
used
did
to
a
see him
15-year tour. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I saw him. I was always impressed with back when Billy Graham was alive. Your grandpa started appearing with him in a lot of stadiums.
Oh, yeah.
and some big events, and so I thought that was pretty cool. I was trying to straighten my life up, sort of like you at the time when I was younger, and so I was always kind of inspired by Johnny because I'd heard. I mean, I can't remember where I saw it was a movie or what, but I remember stories about how he went to the cabin. He tried when he would detox, climbing the walls and.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you got to admire anybody that goes through that, man. I quit smoking once, and that to me, I was climbing walls trying to quit smoking when I was young.
I think that's the only vice I've never had. So
Good for you. That's not a good vice. So, but what was it like, the last time? Did you know that he wasn't long for the world at that point? Did he know?
No. My grandfather, I always thought was 10 foot tall, bulletproof. And even though he was in bad shape, even though he was in a wheelchair, even though he wasn't getting around too well, even though he was blind at the time, I mean,
Was he?
for the most part, yeah.
Wow.
Even though all these things, no, he was 10 foot tall and bulletproof. And he had called me, actually the day he left, he said, take care of the house. And I was there, my Aunt Cindy was there, there was several people around. And he had to be taken by ambulance. And so that night, he had called me and said, I want you to come down here. There's something I need to tell you. And to be quite honest, I was what they call dope sick, just to be 100% with you. And I didn't feel like getting up. And I said, okay, give me about an hour. I planned on laying down for about an hour, so I felt better, which wasn't going to work. But I was going to lay down for a little while and then get up and go see him. And I didn't wake up. And
Wow.
My mother called me later on, early the next morning, and said that he had passed. So
Wow. Wow. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going. I was just thinking about some of the fun times you had with him, or funny times. I mean, none of us really
he's
knew
hilarious.
the side of him. Did he have a sense of humor? I mean, was
Oh
he
my God.
funny?
He was hilarious. He's kind of like me. He kind of had a dry sense of humor, though.
That's the best kind.
But there's lots of things that were funny. Some I'm trying to figure out what I can and can't say, which stories I can and cannot tell.
When he called you and you picked up the phone, did he say, "Hi, Thomas, this is Johnny Cash"?
No.
Okay, that was a silly question, so you don't have to.
No, you knew who he was when he called.
Yeah. I was obviously playing off
He
the
had
famous introduction.
Yeah, there was a fan one time that sent him a throne.
A throne?
A throne. And I happened to be there, and I was about 18. And we got a call saying that there was a big delivery up on top. There was 3 driveways, and where we normally parked was, And so we went up there, and they had this big crate, and Tommy lifted it out of the truck, and he said, "Well, what is it?" And the guy took a crowbar, and he said, "I don't know." He started opening it up, and it's a throne. It's a beautiful throne.
Not a toilet.
No, this was a
differentiate.
throne. This was like leather
wanna
and
make sure
gold
we have
and brass
Okay.
and
All right.
mahogany, and this thing was like 7 feet tall.
Wow.
And he started laughing. He said, "I don't want that thing," and turned around and walked in the house. And I said, "I do. Can I have it?" And "What are you going to do with the throne?" I said, "Take it to my house." Can I, so I paid the guys to take it to my house, and I had a throne.
Do you still
I
have
played
it?
Sega Genesis on a throne.
Do you still have the?
No, I wish I still had that throne. Of course, Sarah Jo would make me get rid of it, but
Oh.
that or I'd have to get another one.
She's shaking her head no. She said she's okay with it.
But he wouldn't have the throne. He had some rickety old beat up leather chair he had for years that I don't know.
Probably more comfortable
I like the throne
than a
story.
throne.
I
Yeah.
wish I still had that throne.
Yeah, that's too bad. I mean,
It was beautiful. Somebody spent a lot of time on this thing.
Wow.
I don't know who.
That's an unusual thing to send somebody, but
Yeah, right.
Throne.
Right.
Well, man, he was
I've never
the
heard anybody
king.
else say that. I get thrones all the time.
He was the king of country or something like that. Yeah.
Well, as far as your genre and your music, I remember you saying you loved heavy metal. I mean, are you like what do you listen to whenever you're driving down the road? I mean, do you have anybody particular? I mean, I kind of love rock and roll and heavy metals to some degree. You know.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't listen to any country. I can't listen to today's country, really. I just can't get into it.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody can.
It's turned into rap, man. It's some of
It's
those
very
country
commercial.
rap. So weird.
It's frat boy rock.
Country rap.
Yeah, frat boy music.
At the house, we've got it playing in the barn for the horses. And
So they like it. The
they like
horses
it. They seem to like it.
the
But
country
every
music.
time I go in there, it's like I'll always pick out some lyric that make fun of it because I'm like, really? Did you just say that on the air? You know, did you go in the studio and cut that about? Well, I won't
Kinda
say what. 'Cause I
ridiculous,
don't want
really.
to.
When you try to take the music off and put on your music, do the horses object to that?
They hate my music. They can't stand my stuff.
Who would think
They won't
that
eat
the
hay at
horses
all.
had musical preferences?
I don't know.
This is
I mean, they're horses.
revelatory.
I just assume that they like country. Maybe they're mad.
Don't assume. Don't
Maybe that's
assume.
why they won't come to me. They're like, God, he won't put on any helmet. You know, he won't put on any prong.
Lamb of God, aren't they heavy? It's on your
The song I'm
t-shirt.
the shirt I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy.
Yeah, I noticed the shirt right off the bat. Yeah, Lamb of God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I listen to. I don't know. I listen to a lot of things though. I mean, on the way up here, we were talking about it on the way up here. I've got everything on my playlist from Peter Gabriel all the way to
Great.
Lamb of God. You know, it's
Well,
big
he
Pink
did a
Floyd
song,
fan.
"The Lamb of God Lies Down on Broadway." Wasn't that a Genesis song? Dennis, wasn't
Oh
that?
yeah.
Genesis, "Lamb of God Lies Down on." No, sorry.
It was
Dennis is looking at me like.
Oh yeah, we have Dennis Double in the house.
Actually,
yes,
Double D, the
very
world
famous.
famous Double D over
Very
there.
famous. He'll tell you that too.
they didn't bring
Yeah.
him a mic though.
Famous.
I told him to yell real loud.
Yeah, we couldn't deputize him. He's too dangerous with a microphone. Well, we'll get him next time.
So what's the
We'll get
plan
him next
now? What's the plan now? You're recording another album.
Yeah, we've
Obviously.
already done most of the recording. Actually,
Okay.
we're just gonna. I think it's better right now to release singles. I just have that in my gut. I just feel like I enjoy it more, honestly, because you get to watch that single. You know, you get to,
agree, really.
Like, you know, and see how people react to it, and if they don't like it, they, you know, or wear it out, get sick of it, and then I'll give you something else here in a little bit. You know, I mean,
Yeah. Plus, you can. I mean, you can pop them out and just sort of give people. I mean, to produce
Something to look
you know,
forward to.
Well, plus, you know, the trend has been that, you know, to pretty much people who are buying single, they'll love the one song. You know, in the old days when Lee and I were just little babies.
Hey,
we'd
watch
buy-
what you're saying.
we'd
Here
buy
all
them.
days. Come on, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Just me then. Yeah.
Yeah, just you.
the 8
We'd buy-
tracks.
Yeah. We'd have to buy a whole dang album just to get the one song we wanted. You know.
Which was okay, though. You know, albums were concepts. I mean, look at
Right.
Sgt. Pepper or Tommy or The Lamb of God Lies Down on Broadway, for
Right,
example.
right.
They were concept. But
Yeah,
it's a
actually,
different-
my album was a concept album.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was from birth until when we recorded it.
Okay.
And if you look at it, it's a timeline.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Chronological order sort of
Yeah,
thing
it
going
is.
on. It's
It
really
is,
that's kind of I was picking that up when I listened to it. I was wondering
It's
if
a
you meant to do
valuable
that.
thing. I like that. So, did you say, I have dyslexia here, did you say the name of the upcoming album?
No,
Good. Then I'm
didn't
not an
say that
idiot.
at all.
I'm not an idiot. My
totally
memory
dodged.
is
I
okay.
totally dodged that and changed the
Well,
subject.
let's put in a plug. What will the album be called?
You know, I had a working title and then I changed my mind one day, and right now I don't know. I'm not decided on that yet.
I got a title for you.
What's that?
To Be Determined.
To be determined.
Yeah. Yeah, you can try that.
Yeah, TG, TB,
Yes, all initials.
D.
I know it's not going
All
to be anything
initials.
about COVID though. I know that.
No COVID songs?
No COVID songs.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, yeah.
No political songs. No COVID
No,
songs.
good. I'm glad to hear that. Too much of that.
Way too much.
So you have a current single out now, or is it coming?
Right Side of the Dirt. It's on all
Okay,
the outlets.
that you did mention.
And then I think next month we're going to release another one.
And what will that one be?
I don't want to tell you yet.
You don't want to take the attention away from the
I
current
don't want to
single?
take the attention away yet.
All right, we'll focus on the new single, and yeah.
But I'll send you a copy.
Okay, all right, please do that.
Yeah, I will.
You could send me the whole catalog as far as I'm concerned.
I will. I can do that.
We've got this on.
I mean, I
tape or
personally
whatever
won't
we
because
have
I don't know
it.
how to do that, but I'll have somebody do that.
Yeah, well, all right, we'll figure that out later.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out later.
As far as live shows, how's it looking on, on your tour? I know it's been crazy for, who would have thought, COVID would destroy the music industry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something I don't
it's
think anybody saw
ridiculous.
that coming.
Nobody saw any of this coming.
But I mean,
It's it's funny because used to we would contact different venues or whatever, and now they're contacting us but saying we want you but we can't yet.
Not now.
And are you going to be there when we call?
Where do
It's
they
like,
expect you to go?
Yeah. It's like we're waiting for our governor. We're waiting for this, but we just want to let you know that if we weren't waiting for that, we would have you here right now.
right.
So I'm like, well, thank you very much. So to all the governors out there,
Yeah, really.
let's have some live shows. We can put 10 feet barriers
Well,
or whatever.
you can do the streaming shows. Have you thought about that?
And that's about as fun as stubbing your toe. Because you get no. I mean, we still are going to do it. Don't get me wrong, but trust me, it's like one of the things about live music. It's not about just going out there and playing for people. I mean, it's what you get from the people.
Right.
It's what you get from the people in the audience. And when you've got nobody out there, that's a hard thing to do.
And you can't really replace that. You know what? And a lot of my musician friends will probably not be happy I'm saying this, but I mean, I see so many of my friends that they feel like they're live streaming now. They never did that many shows, and they're live streaming like every night and every week.
Right.
And I'm thinking, do you really think that that anybody's listening? You want.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of feel bad.
Remember when you could get on Facebook and just look at funny memes?
Yeah.
Now it's like you've got to filter through all the live streams.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of them. You can't keep up
And
with
some of them I don't want to hear. Some of them I do. Some of them are really good. But
Well, I may have to edit that out, but I mean, I just know
No, don't edit that out,
I would.
Billy. Let's get the hate
I
going
mean,
here.
yeah,
let's
let's do
make
it.
you a controversial figure.
Who's Billy?
Everybody else
Billy
is saying
left.
what
This
they
is
mean.
Joe. I'm just sitting there.
The hipster
Mike,
you love to
John.
hate. The
I'm not
hateful
I'm somebody
hipster.
else.
The
Yeah.
hateful hipster, really. We were playing with that name, the hateful hipster.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of funny because artists that would go to try to play at a venue that have nobody show up. They're playing like every night, and I'm thinking, wow, man, it's good practice though. And
Yeah.
I don't want to condemn anybody for that. I mean,
sometimes I'll feel sorry for them though, because sometimes they're really good, and you look to see how many people
right.
are watching them, and it's just me.
Oh,
So now
that's sad.
I can't go do something else
That's
because
sad.
I feel bad.
That's
So
if you ever touch that
really,
button, I'm the same way. If I ever accidentally hit play, then somebody waves at me, and I think, oh.
yeah.
And I was on
I
my
better
way
sit
there.
here for a while so I don't hurt their
Yeah,
feelings.
I was on my way out the door or something. Then I gotta I tell my wife and say, hang on, I feel bad. I gotta watch this for a little while.
But you do get people can email you or Facebook you during the performance and give you feedback and ask you questions, right?
Yeah.
I
They've
think
got
I'm not
the little
technical.
things that scroll up, which
Uh,
I usually don't watch just because I get, like I said, ADD, and I get to like paying attention to that.
yeah,
Nothing else is going on in my head.
I can relate to that.
I think I can too. Maybe we're all three or ADD.
I know.
What were we talking about before that?
I don't know. What are we doing here? Who are you guys? What are we doing here? I'm
Oh
lost.
yeah. We were just. I don't know. You're the professional. You tell me.
I have ADD. I'm lost here. I'm totally lost. I think I hit my peak here when I spoke about being socially distant from my wife. I think that
Yeah,
was
you and I are two old hippies.
again the word "old" enters into this.
Well, yeah, but Thomas, he's still young compared to
Well,
Oh, thanks for saying that.
Somebody.
Thank you.
he won't give his
somebody-
age. He said earlier he doesn't want to reference his age.
I don't remember. Did he say that? I
He
mean,
did because he won't say what year he was on the bus with his grandfather.
Well, I didn't even notice that.
No, you did, and you said you
didn't
don't want to
notice?
give away the year and your age because then people will know how old you are. But
I
you're
don't
a
really
young
care.
guy, man.
I don't really care, honestly. You're as old as you feel. You're as old as
You have a beautiful
I've got a
lady
mohawk.
friend here.
Oh, I do.
Kudos.
Actually,
Kudos.
right?
And look at that hair she has. What color is that?
That's natural.
I was going to say,
Her mother's got like really
is
red
it
hair.
God-given hair? I ask people that all the time. Is it
Her mother's got
God-given hair?
neon hair.
Neon hair.
Yeah.
What was that character that somebody said? Ariel.
Ariel.
Yeah, she looks like Ariel. Yeah. You get a side job doing that. You know, we've had people come into the station over here, and that for kids, you know, we had some events there. I mean, she looked a lot like you, and she was making money. And
We need a mermaid outfit.
Yes.
They're really hard to
We
walk
could do it
in.
Now that I'm noticing
we could.
it, yeah.
I could drag her along.
You have to drag her, because last time I saw one, that's what they did. They drug her and put her in a chair.
Wow.
And,
What are they doing putting a
Against
mermaid
her
in a
will.
chair?
Against her
How
will.
uncomfortable for a
I mean,
mermaid.
Yeah, you're supposed to lay down on the floor, I think. And
Right.
just sort of
They should have had like a blow up.
What's going on there at the station? Billy manages. He runs the station,
wait a
a
minute.
wonderful venue. But now,
What are they doing hauling mermaids into your
Yeah, I'm
station?
seeing a different side to the station.
We have an
here.
Easter egg event every year. There's about 150 kids come, and Chick-fil-A
Really?
sponsors it.
That's
yeah,
lovely.
and we usually have these characters, and that's where that's what I remember seeing was a girl with that.
Really?
Ariel. Yeah, Ariel.
Do
You had a
dress up?
mermaid drug in on Easter.
Yeah, I don't know what that has to do with Easter, but I guess the mermaids can hide eggs better than
Easter egg,
anybody.
man.
They sink or both afloat. They won't. Never mind.
Do you dress up? Are you a character, Billy?
Yeah,
I've seen you at the Halloween thing.
I've
You had
got
a
this
great
thing.
costume.
It's got a actually built-in fan. You know, it's a dinosaur, and I ride it like a horse.
Oh yes, you wore that at Halloween. It was I got to say, and this is no reflection. I have a great deal of affection for Billy, but that was just an adorable costume. You were adorable.
Thanks. I don't know if,
Are we
want you
totally
to
off
be-
track here?
I didn't want you
Are
to
you
be-
embarrassed, Thomas?
I'm loving this.
You
I'm
just
loving
want to get up and
I want to
leave
see
there.
this costume.
You
now.
gave me a weird
it's
look in your
great.
eye when you said that too. It
Well,
kinda made me
I'm
uncomfortable.
sorry.
But
It's
He meant-
I was
He
fascinated.
really meant
I
that you
just
were
thought-
adorable.
He was adorable.
really did.
I don't care, Thomas. I'm I have enough confidence in my
exactly.
manliness.
Totally-
I can say
totally
that.
get it.
okay, well, I feel better. My headphones just had to loosen them up a little bit.
Yeah,
Now
they
that
just
was
spiked
adorable.
out.
Head
on you,
getting too
didn't
big.
they?
Head swelling up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Well,
You need a throne.
Yeah, you do need a throne, don't you?
man, yeah. Can you? Is that portable? Can you
Where
bring
is
it with
that-
you sometime?
where-
I
that
wish I knew where
throne?
that throne is.
Oh, I thought you.
I wish I knew where all
But I
my
saw a
stuff
picture
is.
of you in a throne, sitting on a throne, not in a throne, but sitting on a.
Oh yeah, big chair. Yeah,
Oh, that was just a chair. Okay.
that was a huge
So
chair.
you're talking
call
about
it a
something?
throne.
Oh, yeah. One of his.
That's not a throne, Billy. You need the steps to be a
Call it
throne,
that.
right?
Oh, okay. I don't
Know
know where I saw
your
that.
thrones, Billy.
Yeah, there's some kind of picture I saw of you. I don't know, on the internet or something.
Yeah, I like that chair too. I guess it could have been a throne.
Yeah.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what else you got there, Lee?
Well, I mean, we're just looking forward here. We don't really
We're
know
wanting to-
when. And
But we hope to have you at the station,
Yeah.
which is miserstation.com. If anybody
put
out
in
there,
the plug.
Yeah, I got to put a plug in for the station, and we're shut down till September the 4th or 5th. I forgot the exact date, whatever that Saturday is when we kick off our fall season. But
With who? Put in the plug. I've got to train him in the ways of
Scott-
professional
oh.
showbiz.
Well, Scott Southworth, the guy in Nashville, is coming out. And then the next show is Wild Eyes, and I can't remember much beyond that. But we got my friend Verlin Thompson and Sean Camp, who's got a couple shows. And, my harmonica buddy, Charlie McCoy, he's coming.
Yeah.
And
You know Charlie?
he's a...
Yeah,
Do you?
I know who he is.
He's probably played with... I imagine he's played with everybody. I bet he's been on some of your grandpa's albums, too. He's a super nice guy. He's I think he's still living in Nashville.
Played with
partner.
Bob Dylan, produced Bob Dylan. Very famous, yeah.
Yeah. So, but we hope you're rising star. So I hope you'll come back. Before you get to
Yeah, we were there in November.
Yeah, we want to have you back
Great
next-
acoustics.
Yeah,
You have
next
great acoustics
next
there.
year if we can get you back, that'd be great.
Yeah, before you get
station.
too old,
Right before I get too old.
like Billy.
Yeah, no, I was referring to us together because
No, you weren't.
I was trying to hitch my wagon.
Then
to
you're
you
going to have to take
because I'm a little
that
younger.
out. You have
than
to edit that out.
Okay.
I'll bring my mermaid outfit.
Edit. Okay. Let me
Yes,
make a note.
please.
Edit.
Just
something.
drag me
Yeah,
in.
and he'll be in his
Drag me in and
dinosaur.
put me in a
It'll be-
chair.
It will be adorable. It will be adorable.
Well, I was going to ask. I was looking up earlier on the internet. I think it was Thomas Gabriel Band. Or you? Wait, I'm not even going to guess that. You tell me what's your .com there.
Yes.
Oh, it's Thomas Gabriel Official.
Official. Okay.
Oh, you got to remember an extra word.
Yeah, and two
Yeah.
F's
Well,
Two F's.
for official.
Is there always 2 F's in official?
Yeah.
I don't remember. So there is
Well,
2 F's.
because you got ADD, you said.
Well, I know, but now I'm thinking, how do you spell official? Is there 2 F's?
Yes,
I've messed
pretty
it up
sure.
before. That's
Two
why I
F's,
said
I'm
that.
pretty sure.
All right, ThomasGabrielOfficial.com.
Right.
So everybody should go there and check you out.
And
check
we're
out
on
your music.
Facebook and
You're on the Facebook,
Instagram and
Instagram, okay.
Twitter and
The Twitter,
all
okay.
that stuff.
All of that
Yeah.
stuff. None of which I know.
I've
how to
never
do.
seen it.
I don't know
because I don't know how to do that.
I don't either. Thank you. Thank you. You do know how to do that, Thomas. You're trying to make me feel better.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I appreciate that personally. Thank you.
Well, Lee,
Yes.
I guess you're the one that's you gotta go here in a little bit. So you want to wrap it up here with
I've got to go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on a time schedule. And you've got to get back. You're still in rehearsal here, aren't you?
I am.
And the guys are wondering where you are, probably.
That's true.
They might like that I'm not there. So,
Yeah.
but I had a really good time. And thanks for having me.
Well, it's been great, Thomas. And, thank you for being a part of the show. You've been listening to Thomas Gabriel, wonderful singer-songwriter. And you can go to ThomasGabrielOfficial.com and check him out. So thank you very much for being here. And thank you, Billy Hubbard. I'm Lee Zimmerman. And
I'm Billy Hubbard. Still.
I already said
Oh, yours
that.
said that.
Billy. He's
See?
trying to get
I already
me on
forgot.
the drugs. I'm a little resentful now. Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, we appreciate it, and
He
thank
paid
you.
for the equipment.
Thank
so.
you. Yeah, yeah. So I got to do something. I'm over here working equipment too. So if I got a reason for ADD. I don't know about you. Okay. So anyway, thanks a lot, guys, and we're gonna close it out, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for joining us. You've been listening to Backstage with Lee Zimmerman and Billy Hubbard, and we hope you'll join us next time. Subscribe now, and that way you'll never miss a backstage discussion. We'll see you next time.
Adios.